How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Goes to the Movies Live. I'm your host, Sean, as always, and was with me, returning from his first directorial effort, my adopted son, Jeremy. How's it going, Jeremy?
It's going okay. I'm recovering from lots of pain and agony of holding heavy camera equipment and whatnot on a film shoot. But no, I'm getting there. I'm getting back on the right track. How are you, Sean?
Oh, just couldn't be better, Jeremy. Just hanging out, just enjoying cinema, watching movies. That's all I did while you were gone. I just watched movies with everybody, and we definitely had a good time. But it's good to have you back, sir. It's good to have you back. And so the film you shot is called Sharp End of a Buck Knife. It's a found footage movie. You guys shot it up in the wilderness up in Virginia. On what has got to be one of the hottest summers in a while. So
oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
So yeah, let's just get into it, man. Let's get into a little bit of the shoot there and what you guys were getting up to. So if you guys don't know, like I said, it's a found footage movie. I don't want to give too much away, so I'll just kind of let you give a log line, a little short description if you want. That's to your liking, because I wouldn't want to, mess anything up like that.
So Sharp End of a Buck Knife is essentially a found footage film about a cameraman and a host that want to film their own version of a cops TV show in the late 90s. But do it with a little bit of a twist, and a little bit of more of a personal edge, and they wind up in rural Virginia for their first big gig with a couple of cops that are, I would say, are underfunded and not the most well-to-do.
Like local yokels, like local yokel cops, like kind of like the cops that the Secret Service hired to watch that building.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Somewhat like that. And basically spending most of their day with them and trying to film and produce something that is prominent and special. All the meanwhile, they are tracking down a cop killer that is on the loose and in hiding right now in the area. And on top of that, there is a serial killer who is also committing a bunch of killings. Yeah, in the background,
as they are one to do.
They are one to do. Yeah,
that's what serial killers do. They kill.
Yeah, and it's starting to slowly but surely get captured more on their footage and on their radar. And our main characters are starting to question their safety and whether or not this is a really surefire go-to for their program, or if they should just get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I know a little bit more of the story than Jeremy's going to tell you, and I can assure you guys, actually, it is a cool twist on this type of story, this type of genre. I was impressed when I heard it. I kind of didn't expect that, not because I didn't think any of you guys were capable of that. I just didn't expect it. And that was what made it awesome to me. So I think the audience is going to be pleasantly surprised when they get to finally see this motherfucker. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a fan already, and I haven't seen it. So
yeah.
But yeah, so do you have any, so what was the shooting experience like? This is your first time doing a feature film. Were you scared, Jeremy?
No,
you should just lean into the microphone. Yes.
It was terrifying. Yeah. No, I learned a lot. I think directing this for the first time with a mostly pretty responsive and interesting crew and cast of people. It's weird. I'm so used to directing anything on the short term or even in the short form, something very much on a smaller scale, less people.
Yeah.
If I keep it family oriented, that's how it usually goes. So this was the first time where.
Yeah, you're working with people that you don't know. You're just meeting, and it feels more of a real thing, right? It doesn't feel like a hobby anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm actually doing something. Like I
Yeah.
now have responsibilities. I can't just be like, you know what, Mom, I think we're good. I think we're good. If you could just fucking strain the spaghetti like a normal
Yeah.
person, that would have been great. But 50 takes in. No, I'm just joking.
Well, that was my biggest challenge. J. David Osborne wrote the script to this film, and I have not had any actual interactions with him per se, and so jumping in and taking the directing helm was a huge leap.
Well,
Not something I expected.
did you feel like, because it's not your script, it's written by
Yeah.
somebody else that you, like you said, you don't know. Did you feel comfortable taking any ownership of it as like from like have your own vision for it, or did
A
you
little.
kind of just, or did you kind of just more stick to the script? I mean, because you had like a week to shoot the thing. It's not like you can be messing around too much.
Yeah. There was a little bit of confidence there, having worked with Spencer Desmond of Death Curse Comics for
That's right. Shout
this
out to
long.
Spencer.
Yeah. And just all of our interactions. I mean, I can't even tell you how many video calls we've had, just like getting the thing made and coming out the way that it looks right now. But yeah, I mean, it really just took a lot of just practice and just being very familiar and comfortable with the script and the dialogue and the concept that he like put together himself, and just communicating on a daily basis. Not easy all the time, especially like when a lot of us are like working like dead end jobs or 9 to 5s or things like that, like behind the scenes. We just had to make it our goal to be as in much communication as possible and
Oh, 100. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
and see something through. And I think what Spencer and I really got along on, especially, and this is something that a lot of people in the industry will tell you not to do, or even like what they're doing right now with like these new horror movies or these anthologies or found footage films right now, is to film on the actual appropriate media for
Yeah.
it. So we went full mini DV. We weren't gonna succumb to any sort of like HD or 4K or any sort of like digital resolution for how we were going to produce this. Essentially,
Yeah,
like,
of course.
we're going back to basics. We're going back to what we knew growing up as
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
And
Which that was part of the allure, right? That's part of it's
Yeah.
the texture of it, right?
right.
And I know because that's kind of your thing, so it ends up being perfect for you.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Did you guys have any trouble with that stuff with like the heat and shit being out there, like with those mini DV cameras?
Yeah, we ran into some trouble. Dude,
I was thinking, dude, I was sitting at the beach and I'm sweating my balls off, and I'm like, dude, Jeremy, if they're out there with those fucking cameras, I was like, those things overheat. Like those are cheap. I mean, I didn't think you guys had a nicer one, but I remember even back in the day when I was like
Right.
just fucking around, I always have problems like that.
Yeah, so the Panasonic I was shooting on, I don't know if it was an example of like overheating or just completely dying on me out of the blue, but for whatever reason, like the second shoot day,
Oh my God.
the tape cassette reader completely just went dead on me, and the camera blew up, and
Just seized up. Just seized the fuck up.
yeah, and
Damn.
I'll tell you right now, like from the get go, and I didn't even like really showcase this on set, but I was so bummed. I felt like I just let everybody down because I was the one
Of
providing
course.
the camera and the equipment in this moment, and thankfully, Spencer and then my friend Gray, who provided us with the cabin location and everything, and essentially like first AD'd and made sure everybody was on good terms and doing okay during the shoot. They were able to contact somebody to lock a rental that had a similar camera model that we could use the next day. And then we also just to save money and to play our cards right, we also secured like another camera like to order like to come later that week, in case we needed to like film extra stuff with it as well.
Smart, yeah.
And thankfully we lucked out. Like the day later, we just like got back up to speed and got back on schedule and filmed what we needed to film. The only other day I think that like kept us at a crossroads was I think Friday. It was like our fifth or sixth shoot day, where we got completely rained out and we could only really film interior scenes, and we just had to kind of plan around what we had scheduled at that time. But even
necessity
then,
is the mother of invention, my friend. You know.
yeah.
Did you guys plan for any of that? Did you think like, oh, we'll save like kind of the interiors just in case something like that happened, or was it just happenstance?
It was mostly happenstance because I did go into this thinking like, oh, we're gonna be thunderstormed throughout the whole week, and it didn't actually end up happening. It was just like really hot summer days. Yeah.
I saw that and the forecast, and I actually checked Virginia, and I was like, oh damn, oh no.
Right.
Oh no. We got a couple chatters here. We got Spencer in the chat. He says, "Hey dudes," and he's laughing about the start of your shoot.
Yeah.
And then Big Paul's in the house. He says, "When/where is your film available?" Well, Paul, it's heading into post production very soon. Not my film, his film, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it throughout the course of the next couple months as everything's coming together. Can't wait to see some stuff from it myself. I'm very excited. Death Curse says, "We were doomed from the start."
We were.
Well, I mean, hey, like if anything, right? I'm sure it was an amazing like learning experience. I mean, just like getting to actually do it, right?
Oh yeah.
This thing you've been thinking about since you were 10 years old. Like you got to take your first step towards that, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and I honestly I couldn't appreciate like a much better experience like from that. I think with all the odds against us, like we found a way to just make something happen. Yeah, in the midst of all of it. And you know, I don't know, like ideally I would love to be directing more things that are my own work, things that I write, things that I produce, and things that I like conceive in my head. But
yeah,
like,
you get to make like all your mistakes with somebody else's stuff and be like, yeah, I don't know what that guy was writing. That shit's crazy. Yeah, I did what I had to do. No, I'm just joking.
Well, yeah.
Death Curse says, I'm going to put this right on the screen. Jeremy is being modest, but he crushed it and couldn't have done it without him. High praise. He also says that was the whole point. Just get out there and do it, even if it went south. And that's the right attitude to have. That's the only attitude to have, especially when you're doing independent productions. You got to roll with it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything else come to mind? Like that any other crazy stuff? Any interesting anecdotes? Did you get in any fist fights?
I punched the hell out of Robbie Goodwin at some. No, I'm just kidding. No,
good.
But, yeah.
Good. I don't even know who he is, but good.
No. I will say, it is fun with an experience like this, like working with comedians too, who want to like branch out and do something that's a little bit like out of their genre, out of their realm.
Actually, can I ask you how? Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sure.
But how did that? Because you guys had to get the product done. You had to do it. So did you have a lot of room for improvisation, or were you guys kind of trying more to stick to the script just so you could have it, make sure you got it in the can? Did you kind of do more than one, like alternate takes with kind of different vibes, or just because you got guys that can improv, you know?
Yeah. No, we did many alternate takes, and we actually allowed so much improv for all of our main actors, at least, to kind of just free flow and have fun with the material. You know, it's funny. I went into the film thinking that we were going to be making like a straight up slasher found footage film. And in making it, and now looking back at it retrospectively, I think it's more of a dark comedy, if anything.
And I can definitely see that. I can see that just because I know you and I know Spencer's work, so I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to do something that's of you. Like you
Right.
can't like kind of work against that sometimes, especially when you guys are like, you're getting your start. You're learning how to do it. So
Exactly.
it's cool.
But these guys are troopers, and they gave something new and twisted and weird or fun to every angle of the film. And I would especially congratulate. I mean, a couple of the actors coming out from the Connecticut scene that Spencer is close with, who are just branching out into acting for the first time, and really taking it seriously, and giving it their all. And I was like just amazed. I was
That's
taken
a
aback
gift.
by their performances. They actually really gave it like their oomph
Yeah.
and everything. And
I mean, that's a gift, especially on an independent production, because usually you got to take what you can get, right? Like,
yeah,
there isn't no getting around that. So when you have people that are there to play and commit to it, it's so awesome.
yeah.
I bet you were so happy. Have
This
you got a
was not-
chance to like? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, this was not like an ego-driven set. Like everybody, like they were just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And that's rare. Even like on this like mid scale.
Oh, dude, it's so hard to
is
get
so-
10 people,
Yeah.
people together that are excited about working on something.
Yeah,
Is nearly impossible if you're not, especially when you're not getting paid. Like, so that's awesome. I'm glad that you guys like came together as like a little family, as little mini film set community.
yeah.
Trembling says, "Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this." Of course you are, Trembling. We all are. Death Curse says, "Yeah, we really lucked out with the cast because I had no clue what I was doing casting. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the cast and stuff in the future because they came ready to make a movie. That's awesome. I love to see it. Glad to hear it too. Like, because that's always the tough thing with it. Like I said, and it's not that people don't come and do their best, but sometimes when you people are first cutting their teeth, their ceiling is not exactly very high, and that's okay. That's part of the natural part of growth of becoming an artist.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you were able to get something that like you yourself were excited about. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll say as an additional thing, as a director at least, my biggest concern right now with a lot of recent found footage output right now, whether it's like paranormal activity or whatever new trend they're jumping on or whatnot, there is this like severe lack of just like character driven drama, or even like giving like characters like any sort of like backstory or something that like you can actually put yourself in their shoes and relate to.
Yeah.
And I would say for the first 50 minutes of this movie, like that was all of what this movie was looking at all of these like kind of like four different walks of life, like our four main characters.
Yeah.
And realizing them as humans at the end of the day.
That makes me so happy to hear that, Jeremy. It really does. I'm serious. It makes me really happy that you guys took the time and the care to understand that, like, well, these have to be at least some approximate real people to some degree, and we need to give them like 3 dimensions and character, and they have to have like their own backstories and their own wants in every scene, their own what am I trying to achieve and stuff like that. Because a lot of first-time filmmakers kind of don't do that. They forget about that.
Yeah.
And it's actually, it's one of the, I think we're going to talk about later. One of the problems with modern filmmaking is that everything is so fucking literal. You just watch movies with characters and they just feel like they're nothing but affectation. Like there's no person there. It's just like a cardboard cutout. So I'm glad to hear that. Death Curse says, even people with small parts went all out, Jeremy included. Oh, I know Jeremy went all out. I know he did. Crazy story about how he got the role. Just kidding. Nekka King says, just got in from Candace maxing. Boy, are my forearms tired. You know how the Nekka King is. He's over there always cranking it to Candace Owens. So you guys, this was mostly a night shoot, correct? Mm-hmm. Did you guys stick to that? Stick to it being a night shoot, or when you got out there, you're like, we got to get some of this shit done even during the day, or?
I mean, even when I arrived there, like the first day, before everybody else showed up, like we made sure we were getting some B-roll here and there, but it was scheduled to be at least a couple days of just day shoots to get all those scenes that were taking place during the day, and then the rest of it was going to be a night shoot. So planning around filming from, yeah, I guess from dusk or like
I mean, because it's like what,
sundown,
like 9
yeah,
o'clock. You guys couldn't really
pretty
start
much,
shooting till like around 9, right?
yeah.
Did you just spend the day like blocking and figuring out how you were going to shoot it, or did you guys just chill? Like, what was the atmosphere like?
We didn't do like a ton of blocking, especially for the night shoots. We did a lot more script reading, and
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
yeah, the blocking is something more that we did on like in the moment, like on the page and like where we were at the moment. Yeah, like this was not the most professional shoot in terms of having like a full on like shot list or things of like
Oh, of
what we
course. Yeah.
wanted. But also that plays into the hand of like, well, it's found footage, so we have to be a little bit more unpredictable and we have to improvise a lot,
Yeah. Sure.
doing this.
Sure.
But we were able to all meet on the same sort of standards and get everybody out to where we needed them to be. And while we did have to cut like certain scenes and moments from the script and yeah, like bits of dialogue and things that we would have loved to have included but couldn't. I think in the end, like we still wound up like capturing everything that we really wanted to.
Yeah, you got
see.
what you needed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So do you guys? I mean, I know you're just getting into probably a lot of the footage and stuff like that. Do you plan on doing any like post production shooting, any like pickups or anything like that? Or are you guys kind of just like gonna be like, well, this is kind of what we have and this is what we're doing?
I'm open to doing any sort of pickup shots. I think there might be some things we want to do with the ending that we have so far. I don't know if it picked up as well as we would have liked, but we can certainly, yeah.
Well, it's
pick
one of the
up
benefits of
yeah,
shooting at night in the woods is that you could probably go almost anywhere and shoot at night in the woods.
yeah,
You know what I mean? If you need to go get something, just even a quick shot or an insert or whatever. You know?
exactly. Yeah.
Which you're not going to really know, I'm sure, until it starts getting cut together. So and start getting the shape of it. But yeah, Trelling says the only recent found footage movies with cool characters, in my opinion, were Dashcam and As Above, So Below. Dashcam chick was kind of 4chan as a person, but those kinds of people are real. No, she is real, and she was cast because she is that person. Her name is Annie Hardy. She's a musician, kind of. But yeah, she's a known person. And she during COVID, she went nuts.
yeah.
Well, that's what people say. She went nuts. Basically, she was just like against like all the COVID stuff, and I think started wearing like a MAGA hat around. Like, so people are like, she's fucking crazy. I mean, she is crazy, but not because of those things, in my opinion. I think those were just new things that she, in her manic way, was just like scooping up to kind of be subversive and get under people's skin. She seems like she's a little bit of a troll, you know? Spencer says, I think that authentically added to it feeling like you're watching the character's production and not something overly produced by a full crew. Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%. Unless you need something very specific, right? Like, unless you need to catch something very specific, you know, like you need to see the killer in the background for a split second because you turn the camera and then he disappears, you know?
Yeah. Well, and shout out to Spencer too. Really good job. We don't have a name for our killer as of yet for this film, but he did a tremendous job, like filling that role. And
that's right. He's the big bad, dude.
Being an ominous presence throughout the whole movie, and the way that it plays out. Wonderful job.
Now,
And,
did Spencer utilize the masks that he was making that I saw him making over the past couple of years or year or so?
Well, so there are masks in the film as props. I don't know which ones you're probably.
I might be.
thinking of,
This may
yeah.
be a completely different thing that he was working on. Didn't you
Okay.
guys take some still photos? You took photos with Spencer. What are you talking about? What are you trying to hide something, Jeremy? I'm just
Oh,
joking.
it's probably a different project that we were working on the side.
Yeah, that's okay. I was referring to that.
Our
Which
boy spent.
I was wondering if that had rolled into this
Okay.
project.
Right,
That's
right,
what
right.
I was curious about. I suppose I could have just asked Spencer because he's in the chat.
Yeah, he can mention in the chat too, but we've got like 5 projects going on in the background
Oh,
at the same time. So.
Don't we all, my friend? Don't we
Yeah.
all? Spencer says Killer is definitely around even when you don't see him, which is great because that creates a great atmosphere. So that's awesome that you're out there just standing in the woods watching them. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
He says there's like 20 masks in the film, and he says yes, that mask is in it if you look close.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be looking out for it for sure, because I really liked the aesthetic of that. Like he took a picture, or Spencer took a picture. I think he was like in a field.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just standing there in the mask, and I thought it was very provocative, and it worked very well. Trembling says, "quote unquote," Jeremy, these trees don't match the trees from 2 scenes ago. Fail. That's what we'll be calling out. Me and Trembling are going to do our own audio commentary for it when it comes out. It's like these aren't this. This is clearly not West Virginia. This is clearly Jeremy's backyard.
We'll
Spencer
put in
says,
the Blu-ray commentary for sure. You
Hell
guys
yeah.
both. Yeah.
"Oh, dude, I'll do a commentary for you. I'll nightcap it for you." Spencer says, "They had me stalk them one night while they were shooting. I wandered around the woods for like 2 hours." That's awesome. That's so much fun. So much fun. I'm getting like residual joy from you guys going out there and just doing your thing. Like it's awesome. It's awesome. You know, Jeremy, being my adopted son, I have to say I'm very proud of you. This is awesome. Really, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys put together. Spencer says, "No one spotted me till they were unpacking at the cabin." You could have been doing anything, Spencer. You could have been out there jerking off, and they would have never even known. It's like, I'm going to kill you.
Spencer gave me my first cigarette and joint after years and years and years of just like avoiding all of that sort of stuff. But like, you know what? I need to calm down. I need to soothe. I need to get back to basics. I need to get high again, you know? So.
Spencer says, "Making love to bears mostly." I hope that's I hope that's part of the character. Otherwise, it would be weird. You can get away with it if it's the character.
Right.
No, yeah, of course. I love it. I love it. We're both, me and Spencer, we're running dual lanes of trying to corrupt Jeremy, take away his innocence.
Stop it!
No. He says the rap party was 30 minutes and Jeremy did everything. You have any comments on this?
I mean, I drank a portion of champagne. I don't know. It was a short rap party. Like,
yeah,
we're all tired.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you guys were fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Did you guys do any? Did you do anything like? Did you officially rat people or anything like that?
I mean, on set, like when we were done with the actor, like you say, like that is a rap on so and so, and whatnot. But like there was, I wish there was more time. Like if things did not go wrong, technically speaking, we would have had more time to actually have a much more elaborated.
But you'll be able to,
party.
you'll be able to do that later. Like with your, are you guys gonna? I hope you guys do like a screening for everybody, and like that's kind of when you get to enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is not, like we said, this is an independent production. There's no fucking rap parties in independent productions,
No.
They're like shotgun weddings. There's no honeymoon,
Yeah.
Death Curse here. Spencer says, "We have photos with smokes in hand.
Yeah.
We had Walmart champagne at the rap party. It took 6 dudes to open it." Jeez, you guys, tell those guys to eat some more protein, for Christ's sakes. I'm just joking.
I don't know what they're loading those champagne bottles with these days. Like that plastic is just like, hard to remove from the actual bottle at this point. Yeah.
Oh, so Spencer, if you have any cool pictures of Jeremy with smoking cigarettes, send them to me so I can use them for thumbnails. Jeremy will not send me selfies. He will not do it. I respect it, but at the same time, I'm like, Jeremy, I got to make fucking thumbnails, and I don't want to stalk your Facebook page. Spencer says that plastic that plastic cork fucked us all up. Like,
I'm
just
trying.
one last problem. One last problem before you guys left. Even at the rat party, something had to go wrong.
Sean, I'm trying. My ugly mug, it's not worthy of like
Hey,
most
look
of
at
the
this.
internet.
Look at this. Okay, this is all I have, and this is what I got to work with.
Yeah.
And this is as good as it gets. This is about as premeditated as I can be as a man. I can't get any prettier than this. I'm sorry. I apologize to my wife. It's crazy. Trembling says Jeremy won't send Sean shirtless selfies. He meant to say. Listen, I tried. You listen. You miss every shot you don't take, or whatever that saying is that Wayne Gretzky said. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and you just got to ask. What's the worst thing they're going to do? Say no,
Right.
or maybe ghost you. That's okay. He gave me his address. I know where he lives. NECA King says Jeremy sent multiple selfie videos to the NECA King for $1,000 shelf. Who's best friend with Jeremy now? That's true. Oh my God. The betrayal in my own house. God damn it, my adopted son. This is where we're following the regular trajectory of father and sons. Now you're going behind my back. You're smoking cigarettes. You're drinking fucking champagne, smoking joints with Spencer. I'm just like, I'm not mad, Jeremy. I'm just disappointed.
I'm doing like Mormon NECA stuff with like Dan Prophet on the side,
That's right. Well, you guys do have the Mormon bro connection.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
I respect that. I respect it. But yeah, so that's it. It just sounds like you guys you did it. You
Yeah.
did it.
I
Does it feel good? Did you feel so fucking good on that drive home? Come on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you smoke a cigarette on the drive home?
Well, I didn't smoke a cigarette on the drive home, but I was like driving like with 1 hour of sleep and almost had a car accident because I was just like so sleepy. But on top of that, no, it was great that we ended on such a good note. I didn't think it was gonna happen. Like
Really?
going in, I didn't think it was gonna happen, and seeing it happen, and I don't know, just like making sure everybody was like on the same page to some degree was the best feeling. I, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's 10 people setting out to do something that could fail completely, and we did it despite all the odds. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with everybody.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can hope for, really.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. All right. Hold on. Well, I do have a picture. Oh, cool. I didn't know if I had my my personal Instagram logged into my computer. Let's see here.
That's the other best thing is that everybody else who's like outside of the limelight of like, oh, what is Jeremy working on? What movie is he making? They don't know. When they see images, they see like things of like of us like hanging out like this in a Polaroid. They're like, oh yeah, he's doing okay. It seems like it was a fun week. That was a vacation. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a couple questions here. Spencer first says the final night shoot was a goddamn fever dream. I'm sure you guys were so exhausted.
Oh yeah.
But I bet it added to it, though. I bet it shows up. Listen, you can't buy production value like that. You can't buy that shit.
No,
it just has to happen. It just has to happen. That's why I sent Jeremy like a couple days late, and I apologize. Just like hope you do good, break a leg. And he's just like, dude, it's so hot. And I was like, you can't buy that. You can't buy it.
Yeah.
That's free production value.
Yeah.
The NECA King says, I'm late to the party. When does Sharp End come out? Are they editing it now? Yes, they are starting in post-production, and it'll be started in earnest within the next few weeks, I believe. Spencer says, we need Cocaine Jeremy on your IMDb page. I agree. Why wouldn't you use that photo? I like this photo right here. It looks like one of those photos is like, this is the last photo of you guys that was ever taken. You know what I mean? This in the found footage movie, like these are the victims and the camera just kind of fades out on this photo.
Yeah.
It's like, we really love those guys.
Right.
Those guys were really great. The best pals I ever had.
After this, the murders began. Yeah, pretty much.
Spencer says we're doing some work in post and have some ADR work, but we want to get it out as soon as possible. All hinges on whatever distribution deal we lock down. Fucking go to Tubi. Just do it. Just do it. Just be Tubi bros. No, I think you guys should go for it. Is once you guys get it done and you're able to assess, like go for reach for the stars. I can tell you this though. I can tell you this. Probably going to come out before Mass State Lottery. Heyo. NECA King says, if you need anybody to render some stock CapCut transitions and title cards, I'm here, bro. I gotcha. Yeah, he does great work on CapCut, the NECA King. That iPhone is putting in work.
I want to see the NECA King in the IMDb credits for this film at some point.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Fucking how.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's exciting. That's cool. That's cool. And you said you're not editing it, correct?
Not doing the major portion of it, but we're still contemplating like additional scenes that we might want to shoot as an intro or an outro for this film. But as it stands right now, and from what we've recorded, like it's a 70-page script, and I gotta be like honest to say like that we've probably recorded about 90 minutes of film material already to like fit a feature, so we're already in that like bandwagon. So
I think with the how found footage goes, I mean you could get away with like 80.
Yeah,
you could get away with 80 even for a theatrical film. You got to get past. I see so many things that are like 77 minutes. I'm like, you guys were like right there. Like you couldn't have figured like 10 more minutes.
Right.
Signal Intrusion says ass state lottery. Well, that is, hold on, I'm gonna put that on screen. Well, that's a statement. Spencer says we have an interested buyer, but we're exploring our options while we edit it down. Gunning for a theatrical if we can get it. I had to eat the cast and crew for survival. Trembling says the documentary tries to frame it like Spencer killed the other two, but by the end it turns out the killer is the documentarian. A little Last Broadcast style. I like it. Spencer says 82 minutes is the sweet spot. I think so, because with found footage, you have to. You don't want to wear out your welcome with that shit. You just don't.
Of course.
And I think it's always a good idea to keep those things kind of tighter as possible. At least in my experience as a viewer, as an audience member, I think the tighter the better for found footage movies. And just as a general rule, I would say. I mean, 90 minutes is probably like for any movie. As I've gotten older, I'm like 90 minutes is good. Like if you can't really get what you need to get across in 90 minutes to an hour 45, I don't know. I'm starting to really appreciate, especially since I have 2 kids and stuff, the 90-minute movie is very important to me. So I'm happy to hear that this will not be some sort of 4-hour opus. I like a movie that hasn't come out yet. Spencer says Jeremy also went out of his way to make sure the third act isn't exclusively shaky cam bullshit, which is excellent news. Now, you guys had, before you guys had started shooting, you and I had talked privately, and I'm not saying anything out of school here, but you had discussed doing a backup, shooting backups. I assume that did not happen. Like shooting a different format as a backup.
We started off shooting backups to SD cards for at least the first couple days, but it did not prove into our favor as well as we would have liked.
Well, that's because if you had a slightly bigger crew, maybe you could have it would have been more feasible. But yeah,
right.
You only got so many hands, right?
Yeah. And that's that's a tough gamble you play with filming in any format like this. Like if we were filming on high 8, it would have been even worse. I think in some ways.
Yeah, probably.
Trying to figure out like all the workarounds to make sure that like everything was like captured to the fullest extent that we would want it to be. But no, I mean, I'm not too worried about how we shot this because I I don't know. Maybe I'm just like really optimistic. I do think there is like a longing for that kind of style and going back to that sort of homegrown era of just like what a family home video looks like, and
For sure.
people wanting to see that again, and not doing this like stupid digital restoration version of this.
Yeah, yeah. No, you guys wanted a very specific texture and look to
Yeah.
the movie, and that's what you went out to do. And I respect the hell out of that, 100%. I mean, it's your movie. Who gives a shit what other people think? Who gives a fuck?
Right.
The audience will find it. That's the thing. The people that will appreciate it, and that's just the way it goes. Just like with anything you do, right? Spencer says there are genuinely some kick-ass shots that we all sort of came up with on the fly. Everyone loved the look of the mini DV night one, and it was holding us back to double up the format. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have an extra person to just do it, that's just there to exclusively do that. Like I imagine that would be very difficult unless you're just duct taping cameras together, which I have seen people do. Actually, who did that? Oh, it was Tommy Wiseau. When he shot The Room, he shot it on like 4 different formats. And he just had a bunch of cameras next to each other.
Yeah, he had
if you see behind the scenes photos, I read The
Right,
Disaster Artist years ago.
he had like a digital HD camera and then like a 35 millimeter camera like taped together like for
Yeah.
those scenes. Yeah, wild.
Hey, but he got it done.
Yeah,
He got it done. He put out a
There you
movie. Spencer says anything to get the shot. It's true.
Yeah.
That's got to be the rule. It's got to be the rule, dude.
yeah.
Treming says, I hope trauma isn't the real terror of this picture by the end. Of the A24 style, every horror movie is about personal trauma. Well, I mean, all horror movies, I think, in essence, are about some form of trauma. But the way that they do it nowadays, it's so pronounced. And so the movies become about that rather than just being a feature of a horror movie. Like, it's a natural state of affairs that these are traumatic experiences. But nowadays, it just feels like... overwhelmingly, every fucking movie is about that. Every single one of them. Can't get away from it. Can't get away from it. Even tonight, we can't get away from it.
I am happy to announce that Sharp End of a Bug Knife is not that caregiver of a trauma movie per se. Yes, I agree with the sentiment that okay, at some point people go through a lot of shit, and
Yes.
it's gonna carry through a lot of the horrors that take place. This is not that kind of movie at all, though. We're not like
No, you don't have like damaged characters that are coming into the story,
No,
and this story
no.
is a metaphor for their journey through their personal trauma. Like that's
Yes.
every horror movie. That's
Right.
every horror movie since 2016.
yeah.
And it's not that I don't like those kinds of stories. I just like, a little variety. I'd
Right.
like
Yeah.
something else there, you know what I mean? Aeneas Tinker says, I call that the Babadook effect. The Babadook effect. Well, I mean, it is. It's a giant metaphor for being a single mom. NECA King says, just hoping it passes the Bechdel test. That's what's really important, Jeremy. Jeremy and cast and crew had some human nights. But what about the plight of women? Spencer says, it's a buddy cop movie gone wrong. Just guys being dudes for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for more. Couldn't ask for more from you fellas. Trelling says, Jeremy goes full Mike Flanagan and betrays us all. If Jeremy had a wife, he'd cast her as a lesbian. Immediately. I always find that weird about Flanagan. I don't think I dislike him as much as some other people, but every single time he casts his wife, he casts her into... he casts her as a lesbian character every single time. Except for when she was deaf in that movie Hush.
Yeah. Well, it's this weird fetishistic act that he likes to implement with his movies.
It's like you're telling on yourself, man.
Yeah.
You're telling on yourself. Like, what are you doing? What kind of weird fucking life? What kind of weird sex life do you people have? What are you trying to say to me right now?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, it doesn't help that he's now executive producing Shelby Oaks, Chris Zuckerman's new movie.
Well, that just got picked up by
Yeah.
Did A24 just pick that up?
Neon.
Neon. That's
Yeah.
right. It was Neon. The other hipster label. That's right. I'm surprised Mika Monroe doesn't show up in that movie. Spencer says, I tried to slip a gay ghost in the third act, but it turned no one liked it. Nekka King says, guys, dudes, I'm calling HR. Well, it's like another thing about horror movies, basically since like 2010. It's like mostly female protagonists. And like, I have no problem with female protagonists. It's like the trauma thing. It's like, just give me, I don't need this all the time. Because essentially they tell the same story over and over and over again because of the nature of what they want to address as a woman in a man's world or something like that, right? So it just ends up being kind of feeling redundant and derivative at some point. I think we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight with Long Legs. But yeah. Spencer says, spent weeks fabricating the rainbow ghost. All for nothing. All for nothing. Maybe we'll get it in on the deleted scenes. You know, if Spencer has, maybe he'll have his way. Maybe he'll get it in post. He'll go out there and shoot it himself, just in a rainbow ghost costume in the forest. Ooh. I'm a second grade teacher.
Here I go.
Could I suck your dick? Actually, this is what the ghost does. I have a drop for it, actually.
You're attracted to everything.
You got a nice dick.
You don't even see my dick.
Can I suck it?
Bruh.
Please?
Bruh.
Please?
Anyways, so that's a little preview of sharp end of a buck knife. Nekka King says, I always thought horror movies had female leads so they can hang tit. That used to be the case. In the 80s and the 90s, that was the case. I mean, I can't tell you how many times me and my wife were just watching, like I got the shirt on, Friday the 13th movies. Every once in a while, we'll just throw on a random Friday the 13th movie. And I always look at my wife and said, isn't this awesome? There's just a bunch of topless women for no reason.
Yeah.
Look what they took from us, Sarah. Look what they took from us. All of these beautiful breasts going to waste. I mean, fuck. You go watch Maxine, which is literally about a porn star, and it's the most sexless movie I've ever fucking seen. But anyways.
I'm happy to announce
we'll get there.
I'm happy to announce that Sharp End of a Buck Knife does have some tit scenes.
Oh, wow. Really?
You'll see a couple shots here and there.
Some breasticles. Yeah. Are they male breasts? Or are they female breasts?
Female.
Female breasts. Female breasts. Okay.
Yeah. We're classy. We're classy here at Film Shop Productions and Death Curse Comics. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Spencer says, couldn't have asked for a more downcast. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That's really great. But that's awesome is when people show up like with the spirit of what you're doing, you know, and they come to help and they come to have fun and they come to do some work, try to do something cool. It's always awesome because that doesn't always happen. You know, I've heard so many horror stories about people not showing up and things like that. You hear shit like that all the time. And I've had those experiences myself in the past. It's very frustrating. It derails things in a way. So that's awesome. And it's awesome that they were responsive to you as a director because that also doesn't always happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. Have you ever worked on a bad production?
Oh, yeah. As a PA or as like a sound supervisor or something like that. Like, playing bad productions on that too. But like, the thing like with a lot of like films like on this scale or even on other scales, like you kind of work within your own department. So if you're not like square, if you're not like on the same point with the guys that you're working with, then the production's gonna
it's a nightmare. It's
gonna be a nightmare from the get go.
Well, just people like I don't know what it is, but like when people, especially actors, and I don't even mean to slag actors in any way, but like even small scale actors will have giant fucking egos, and you're like, where is this coming from, dude? You're like a regional theater actor. Yeah. You shut the fuck up. I don't need your notes. Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm being a little hyperbolic, but it happens all the time. You know, I hear about that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any like closing sentiments? What do you have any hopes and dreams for the production? Spencer has said that, you know, they're already circling things, trying to get a theatrical release. You guys going to court Neon? A24?
Maybe. No.
Why don't you just go to the big studios?
I know.
Go to Warner Brothers.
No, Spencer's done an amazing job of just like playing this up and how we want to execute this for audiences. But like, I would say my biggest thing, like, if you're going into, let's say you're going into directing something that is unfamiliar or not as conceptual or close to you. Somebody else wrote this. Somebody else came up with the design. Somebody else wrote the script. Do what I do and then some, and just like really get to know the people you're working with. And like, honestly, like, I'm saying it right now. Be honest.
Yes.
If you are not comfortable with all the material, and make that clear. And,
yes.
And they will also respond to that well, and they will also want to connect over how you guys can like be honest with the material, because
it has to be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes things so, because we all have apprehensions. You don't want to make somebody. You don't want to make it awkward or weird. But like, if you're trying to get something done, dude, and you have a particular thing, or you have a particular idea, or if something isn't working, the best thing you can do is just be honest about it. And if they have a problem with it, then you guys can have a conversation and maybe find a compromise or whatever. Because I think that's another thing that plagues a lot of indie productions, just people kind of being too timid about the process. Mm-hmm. And the process can be brutal, but rewarding, and it can be fun if people are just kind of just be honest. Just, how are we doing? What are we doing? Etc.
Right.
Spencer says, I forced Jeremy at gunpoint to direct so he had something to do this summer. Well, I'm happy you did. I'm happy you did. It's awesome. It's awesome because it's like it's like a first step. It's like this is a rite of passage for you as a person and as a creator. That's awesome. I'm glad that you were afforded the opportunity to do it, because there's so many people in your position with similar passions, etc., that don't get that, Mm-hmm. And it's really a testament to Jeremy. Now, Jeremy would never admit this kind of stuff, but Jeremy's a go-getter, and Jeremy puts himself out there, and even though I know it's hard for him to do sometimes. So I have an immense amount of respect for his ability to do that, because it's something that I wish I could do more. And it's something so I have so much respect for Jeremy to be able to be that way. And it's started to pay off for you. So that's awesome. Who would have thought just like doing dumb podcasts would have led to you getting to direct a movie, right? I mean, I say dumb in quotes just because we all do dumb podcasts.
I wish we just stuck to the dumb podcast and that was it. Yeah.
It's always, sometimes it's funner to just be a dreamer.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I can't wait.
That's my biggest word of advice to anybody is just, not everything's gonna work out. You're gonna find yourself in these troubles and like these hurdles and whatnot, and you gotta just know what kind of people you're working with, and finding any compromise. It's not easy. It's not fun, but it's possible, and you just gotta I don't want to say like myself. I'm sorry, like if I'm getting too personal here.
No,
I'm not like a full on.
You're on Zoobox, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not like a doormat or a pushover here, but like once in a while, I need to be a little bit more assertive, and I need to actually make it known that okay, we gotta actually step up to the plate and make this.
Yeah,
happen.
You're a naturally introverted person.
Yeah,
but the only way to get out of that is to do it.
Yeah.
And you're good at pushing yourself to do it. Not many people are. Mm-hmm. Not many people are. So I have a lot of respect for you, my friend. Spencer says, and I knew with it being found footage, all his great docu work would pay off in frame. I agree. Jeremy has a great eye. Spencer says he got to experience the worst of it, so when he directs his own script, he's not going in blind. Hey, it's all practice and it's all fun. And you get to the fact that something is going to come out of this is impressive all on its own. How many people go out, start making a movie, and just nothing happens with it? You know, they just don't finish filming. They don't do whatever. So the fact that everybody is so motivated to make it happen is awesome. It's great to hear. Troubling says sometimes you just got to act like you're Kubrick and they're Shelley Duvall. That's what you got to do. You just got to gaslight him a little bit. You know, you got to learn the art of the gaslight. Can you believe Stanley Kubrick murdered Shelley Duvall? Can you believe that? I had it on good authority that he did it. Either it was him and Dr. Phil. There was a two-hander, apparently.
Yeah.
Spencer says, we only have a movie right now because Jeremy made it happen. Don't let him downplay that. No, I won't, because I know Jeremy. We've gotten to know each other, pretty well over the past few years. We've been talking to each other it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, we've been talking to each other for like 3 years. And Jeremy is a guy, he's got so much integrity, and he's a doer. He puts in the work. I know Jeremy does. And I don't have to like be there present and know everything about his life to know that. I can just tell. I have one gift as a human being, is I have a good sense of character. And that's why I like Jeremy. That's why I work with Jeremy. That's why I asked Jeremy to do this. It's because I like Jeremy. And I like talking to Jeremy. And I think going to what we were talking about, the introverted, extroverted stuff, I thought you having an opportunity to do something like once a week or once every other week would just be good for that. Because I am pro Jeremy. I'm on team Jeremy all the way. I'm going to get T-shirts made of Jeremy with that smoking a cigarette. Spencer says, him and Gray pulled something together where no one else could. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll tell you guys what. Maybe we'll put a button on this for now. But as you guys get closer to figuring out what you're doing and stuff, I would love to have like you and Spencer and whoever else you guys want to bring on, and maybe we could just have a cool chat about like what it was like to make the movie from kind of everybody's perspective. If you guys would be willing to do that, because I would love to do that and just be part of that conversation just as an interested person. So the invitation is out there. No worries if you don't want to, though. I understand. I am weird. But anyways,
Absolutely.
do you have any closing thoughts? What you want to leave people with? I know I asked you that before, but then we went on a different tangent,
No,
as
yeah,
we are wont to do.
No, of course. Yeah, I mean, just don't be. Okay, if filmmaking is your passion in any sort of form, or even the creative process, writing, conceptual designing, post-production, any of that sort of stuff, if this is your line of work, like, do not fear what the industry or what everybody else is telling you is like the format or what it should be done.
Oh yeah,
Just be like, yeah, I don't know. You own your own. What's the saying? Yeah, like the world's your oyster. You just gotta have to own it, and you gotta have fun with it.
You got to be open to the process.
Yeah,
Open.
yeah.
The process is fluid. It is not static. It never is.
Yeah.
Even the people that do months and months of pre-production and have their shotlets and everything like that, so much of that changes once you get into the reality of actually doing the thing.
Yeah.
So you can never be actually too prepared or too unprepared. Well, you could be too unprepared. Excuse me. But it sounds like you guys found a really happy medium with that. So I'm glad that it was able to. But I'll tell you this, just on a personal note, I'm very inspired by you guys. And I even started dusting off my old scripts and stories and started working on stuff. Like, I am very motivated to do something myself within the next year or so. I'm even like getting back into shape, because I know that I'm going to have to be in my own movie, because that's just the way it's going to be.
It's the way to go, man.
Honestly, at this point in my life, I kind of would rather not, but I know that's just what it's going to require to get it done. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know that, like, you guys are out there doing your own thing, and I think it's a great example for anybody that has an inkling or a desire or wants to be an artist or anything like that. Like, you have to just do it. It's you don't know if you're going to be good at it. You don't know what's going to happen, and you're never going to know if you don't just go out and fucking do it. And there's something to be said about that, because most people don't. Most people don't. Trembling says the sharp end of a buck knife makes me think it's going to be someone's ass. I don't know why. Think it's going in someone's ass. I don't know why. Well, who knows? Maybe. Spoiler alert, Trembling. Jesus. Spencer says, just get out and make shit. Next one needs more money. Well, they always need more money. You're not going to get it
in the works. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta get that sequel bait in there.
Yeah.
If you want to be a true horror found footage movie, you have to have some ambiguity towards the end, right? But yeah, so that's awesome. So super happy for you guys. I hope the post goes relatively smooth, and we'll see from there. I'm totally going to be harassing you guys for screeners, 100%. Spencer, I'm going to be like, yo, dude, can I see the early cut? Trembling says, how many times did you outrun the killer not meaning to? Victim with too good of cardio. I guess we'll have to see. Death Curse says the consensus is we're doing a rom-com next. Well, I'm going to be in the background somewhere. That's what I'm going to do. You guys just maybe take a picture of me and just carry it with you as always. Be like, this is my adopted father. Some weirdo I talked to on the internet. Spencer says, I'm stupid, easy to convince. Well, but it's cool. I actually really respect that because why not? Flex your muscles a little bit. I know we're all genre guys. We all like genre shit, but you can apply those same principles to almost any genre and do something interesting. Like a rom-com made by Jeremy and Spencer is not going to be like a rom-com made by Penelope Spheris. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be your version of a rom-com. And that's all you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about strict adherence to what it's supposed to be unless you're specifically going for that. Like the filmmakers we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yeah.
But anyways. So, yeah, cool. Fucking A right, man. You did it, brother. You did it.
Those are my final notes. Like, just, yeah, I don't know. Any filmmaker out there, just do it. Make it happen,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, you have so many, so many elements on your side right now. You can do it.
No, we live in an era right now, you literally only have to own a cell phone.
Yep.
You can edit a movie on a cell phone. Maybe it's not going to be the slickest thing in the world, but dude, I'll tell you what, those things are coming along quite, kind of impressed. Like even like a stupid thing like everybody uses CapCut.
Yeah. Like
you can do a lot in CapCut. There's a lot of shit you can do in there. I was very surprised. It's not stuff that I utilize mostly because I don't like, like flashy transitions and stuff. I kind of like more traditional style. Yeah. But you'd be surprised. It's good for making like little short things, like little short dick off things. Like I make, weird little things about drinking energy drinks and stuff.
Sure.
Like and I just do that on my phone. It usually takes me like 10 minutes. I shoot what I need to shoot. And then I'll go edit it another 10 minutes. Within 25 minutes of me conceiving an idea, shooting it, and editing it, it's on the internet. Yeah. That's how I roll. All of my movies came out before Mass State Lottery. All of them. Every single one of them. Every short film I've ever made. But anyways, Spencer says, I need the footage for a bunch of meetings I need to schedule. So I'm going to haunt Jeremy over the coming weeks. Ooh. And he also said, we have too many funny people who want to work with us now. Well, that's cool, man. That's a good place to be.
I like funny people. Yeah.
I like funny people. No, but it's a good place to be. If you actually have people that are like interested in working with you, that's like 80% of the battle. Right. Of being an independent filmmaker. It's just get people to show up, get people to be excited, be invested, take it seriously, for Christ's sakes. It's easy not to take something seriously when it's just you and your friends out in the woods.
Yeah.
It's very easy to kind of fall into those traps. But yeah. Good stuff, boys.